On this video, I wanted to show you how I get some of the different background effects I get on paintings, and a lot of times I'm working with color sets, and I have made a bunch of color sets that I like to work with. So to open yours, you go up to Window, to Color Panels, and choose Color Sets. I also have set up my actions so that I can just push one icon and it pops it open instead of going through the steps. But these are some of my favorite color sets to work with. When I'm working with backgrounds, I have a couple brushes. I'm sure you caught on to that by now, that I like this messy oil brush. Now, under your palettes, you do have a choice for color variability on your brushes, and I keep that one open almost all the time. I've made my own little custom palette here that lets you set the impasto different, lets you set your color variabilities different. I always work in HSV, but when I'm working on backgrounds, I like to work from a color set. Now you'll notice that when you're working from a color set, you get a multicolored brush to work with. So that's why these little sets come in handy. If I wanted a darker mauve looking background, I would go to this color set and choose with this brush, which I call my Veritable Oil Messy. It's one that I changed a lot of the settings on and created. But you'll see that when I pick that, all of these different colors are going to come out in the brush stroke. So you can just keep going and smear them around, adding more each time you lift and press down. So that gives you an idea of that one. I'll clear that, and just to show you how this brush works, depending on the color set I've picked, that's how I'll add some of those backgrounds that have way more than one color in it. Plus, I'm working straight on the canvas here. This particular brush, if I remember right, yeah, it has to have a color to work with so that it'll smear. So if I was working on a separate layer, I would just fill that layer with a fill color, and then I'd go ahead and use my color sets on top of that. So that gives me at least the beginning of a background that I want to work with. And then sometimes I'll blend, or I'll switch and want more lavender, so I'll go to one of my lavender sets. And one of my favorites is this background Pale Roses, because it has a lot of, let me clear that, it has a lot of the paler colors that blend with a lot of landscapes and portraits for people. Now, to show you how the color sets, I've created most of my own. The sets that come with Painter, if you were going to use a background brush, they're usually a large set of colors. Let me get one in here from my color set library. The Painter colors, take a look. They you know, I don't think I'd want to use this on any background, because there's just too many millions of colors you'd be getting, unless that's the look you're going for. Most of the time, it's not one that I'm going for. So I'll close that one out and not have it chosen. Now, the way I get some of these is, an example is, I'll show you, I will open, sometimes I go into paint stores on the web and will snag a group of colors. So this one was put together by someone else, but to show you how it works, they had called it hair colors, and they were opening this with their painting each time. Well, there's a way you can get around that by just, especially with Painter X3, you create a color set library from the image. So any image that you really love the colors in it, the muted colors or the bright colors, whatever, you can open that image and go up here and say new color set from the image. It will say, what do you want to call this? Well, I want to call this one hair colors. I think I already have this one, but it might ask me if I want to override it. Now you can choose how many colors for it to pick from the image and put into your color set. This one happens to have 24 colors, so I'm going to say OK to give you an idea how it works. Now when I say OK, you scroll down to the bottom and yeah, see, I've got it duplicated, hair colors here and hair colors 1. Now the good thing about the color sets is if there's some color that you don't think you will use in hair, maybe you think that this black is too black to be, I don't like to use true white and true black. They're almost too deep to make a painting look real, because almost any color you see on a portrait looking at a person, there's not, if you look closely, it's not a really true black unless it's your iris of your eye, the pupil I mean, and even then you might want to mute that a little so that it doesn't just jump out of the portrait. So say I didn't want the black in this one, all I have to do is right click on it and delete that color. Now if I wanted to keep going down to get to just the bottom row, then I could completely rename this and resave it and have a row that I've made up myself, like I did with some of these when I'm painting hair. Even when I'm using brushes, my hair brushes and that type of thing, if I'm wanting mostly browns, I might work from a color set rather than just a straight color, because by doing it that way, it's blending in more than one color. When you work, you're getting different shades of that brown, rather than if you just work from one hue, you're going to get that same hue just over and over. Let's say we're working from this hue, that's all you're going to get. But when you work with a color set, you get blended colors from whatever your color set is. So that's just one little clue about working with backgrounds with color sets. One of my favorite things to do, because you get a variety of color with just one brush stroke. I hope you found this interesting, and I'll keep posting. Thanks a lot.